Satan, formerly called Lucifer, was a special angel who shone more brightly than all the other stars in the sky. But due to his pride and disobedience, he was cast down to become the leader of all spirits of evil. What happened to him is not as straightforward as a man known to the public as a light who then fell from grace, but his story is one of a man who turned from the greatest light to the greatest darkness. In today's video, I will disclose to you 4 stories that explain some of the aspects of Satan's activity that you may not be aware of. You will find out how he came to attempt to lure and cheat people, what power he has, and all about the darkness in the world. Imagine once there was an angel named Lucifer. He was not just any ordinary angel, but the brightest, most beautiful, and wisest of them all. He shone in the heavens like the morning star, admired by all. However, Lucifer was not satisfied with his beauty and power. Pride slowly took root in his heart, and he believed he deserved to be equal to God. One day, when the angels were glorifying God, Lucifer decided that he too deserved such glory. As we read in the book of Isaiah, "How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn, you have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations." Isaiah 14:12. His fall serves as the most dramatic warning that even the brightest star can fall if its pride grows too great. Lucifer's story reminds us of the destructive power of pride behind beauty and power, and that all power lies in God's hands. The next comes from the book of Job. Imagine a man named Job who was righteous and God-fearing. Job was wealthy, had a happy family, and received everything he desired. However, Satan did not believe that Job was truly faithful to God. He thought that Job was only loyal because he had everything. So Satan went to God and told him that if he could take away Job's wealth and happiness, Job would turn away from God. God allowed Satan to test Job but limited his power. The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then, everything he has is in your power, but on the man himself do not lay a finger." Job 1:12. Satan took everything from Job, his wealth, his children, his health, yet Job's faith remained unshaken. This story shows that Satan's power is limited and all his actions are under God's sovereignty. Job's perseverance and faith remind us that faith and strength can overcome the greatest trials, and that God is always with us, even in the hardest times. Now imagine a great battle in heaven. Archangel Michael and his angels are fighting against Satan and his angels. This is no ordinary battle, but an epic clash between the forces of good and evil. Michael, one of the strongest and bravest angels, leads the heavenly armies. The battle surpasses all imagination, with lightning flashing, thunder roaring, and heavenly lights shining brilliantly. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. Revelation 12:7. This heavenly war shows that Satan does not fight alone. He has an army that assists him in his evil deeds. The battle between the forces of good and evil reminds us that a constant struggle is ongoing in the spiritual world, and we must remain vigilant. However, the ultimate victory will always belong to the good, for God's power is infinite and unbeatable. Lastly, but certainly not least, a story from the Apostle Paul. Imagine meeting someone who appears to be an angel of light. They seem kind, wise, and every word they speak sounds true. But in reality, this person is Satan, who has transformed himself to deceive us. Paul warns us, and no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. Satan is capable of disguising himself in the most deceptive ways, making himself appear good and just while his true intentions are evil. Imagine that someone you believe to be righteous and good is actually your greatest enemy. His ability to appear as a good and just being makes him especially dangerous. This story warns us to always scrutinize every intention and action to avoid deception. True truth always lies beneath the surface, and it is up to us to find it. These lesser-known facts and stories about Satan provide a deeper insight into the nature and workings of evil. They remind us that while Satan is cunning and powerful, ultimately, God's sovereignty and Jesus' victory surpass everything. Let us remain vigilant, strengthen our faith, and trust in God's infinite power and love. For the ultimate victory will always belong to good, and God's power will triumph over all evil.